Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Builder Nation. For today's interview, we have Michael Davis, Head of Engineering at Handwritten, the company allowing you to scale your handwritten outreach through robotics. So welcome, Michael. Super happy to have you here. Welcome to Builder Nation.
Thank you. It's fun, yeah. My name is Michael Davis. I am head of engineering here at Handwritten. I've been with the company 4 or 5 years now. Yeah, I started here in November of 2018, where there's just, I want to say there was like 10 or 12 employees here. So we've since grown, and I think we're officially considered mid-sized now. We have 50 employees. My job is basically to make sure that we continue building these robots so that we can mass produce these personalized handwritten notes so that our clients can send them out. We utilize a lot of different technologies in here to make sure that can happen, including like building our robots in-house using, I've got a whole fleet of 3D printers and a laser cutter in here to make sure that we can do everything. We build everything in-house. We're able to custom tailor stuff to our clients, and we control everything start to finish. So we produce the cards, we write the notes, we QA all of the stuff to make sure that everybody's getting quality notes sent in the mail, and then we stamp them and drop them in a real mailbox.
I watched a video about the robots and how they actually work.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed because the handwritten looks totally real, like if someone was actually doing it, right? How this idea started.
My boss, David, the CEO of the company, he started this company about 8 years ago after selling his last company. And his last company was automated text messaging. So like they would set companies up to like send text messages out to clients. And he felt that was it was a great idea, but it was very impersonal. Like, none of us check our junk folder anymore in email. So it's starting to get to that point in text messages, right? He wanted to find something that was a lot more personal. So he had the idea of doing handwritten notes as a service. So David started this company about 8 years ago with that intention in mind, just to help people connect.
I was actually, now that you're mentioning David, who is the CEO, I was watching an interview from ABC, and I noticed that the holiday season gets super busy for you guys. How do you handle the part of being the head of engineering there?
December is fun. That is probably the best way to put it. I definitely segment my year up. So I've been in this role for a year and 3 months that I've been head of engineering. So I've gone through at least one full cycle of being in charge, but I've been here many years before that. Q1 and 2 is a lot of like product development, trying to make the robots faster, trying to make them look even more realistic. Q3 is where we start to be like, hey, like winter is coming kind of deal. We need to prepare for that. So how do we make sure that we're like stocked up and are all the machines working as effectively and everything's online running properly and whatnot. End of October, beginning of November, we'll go from doing like 50,000 notes a week to I think we peaked at like 100,000 notes a week. So we'll double just in like November, December. So it's preparing all of the months before so that I can stop what I'm doing come November, December, and just focus on how do we get all the robots writing 25 hours a day if I could, kind of deal.
If you don't mind me asking, like if we can get a little bit technical, what would you say it's the biggest technical challenge that you have managed to solve?
One of them is improving how fast we can build robots, right? Because the more robots that I have on the floor, right now I have 180 robots in-house, and we've recently started leasing our machines to select vendors. I think there's 18 out in the wild, out in the world, all across the United States, and we've got a few going to like Australia and some other countries, which is really neat. But so improving how fast and effectively we can build the robots, that was like my big project when I stepped up into head of engineering. Effective use of our 3D printers is a big one. If you use 3D printers in industry, I think it's a normal thing, but when I came into this job, I didn't really think about like, how do you maximize use, right? Like 3D printers are great and all, but they take time. Some of my parts take days. So how do I've got 11 printers over there. How do I use that and maximize their time schedule to make sure that they are producing enough parts for me to build enough machines to keep up with demand? A lot of different areas, which makes my job fun.
I'm pretty sure every day is a new task and every day is a new learning. Yeah. And especially after 5 years, that's a lot of time. Now that you're talking and we're getting a little bit technical and talking about your role and your day-to-day, I want to ask, like, we normally tend to speak with different CEOs or founders or head of engineers in the industry, and some of them are involved in the procurement process of the company. So how close are you to this?
I'm in charge of all of the procurement for the machine. I have to take into account all of that budget stuff, and also just making sure just general like office upkeep, things like that. My department's also in charge of like making sure all of the computers run in the office and things like that. The whole networking system is all done in-house. When it comes to like the procurement, normally we just have like for my machines and whatnot, we've got a standard order of parts that we order, and we just kind of try to keep up on stock on there. I like to try to keep everything to the same couple of vendors. When we first started building this machine, I think most stuff came from McMaster, and so we're slowly trying to figure out like cost-wise what's the most effective way to do it.
I just think that it's really interesting to see how every hardware company organizes, and especially after the pandemic, right? With all the supply chain issues and challenges and how you guys managed to solve them. I think that's really interesting to hear.
That was a big, like this pandemic has not been fun. I stepped into this role, like I said, almost a year and a half ago, right in the middle of the pandemic. We had a lot of stuff that we had to pivot from, including like, well, we were working on a new design for a writing arm and getting with new partners and like having to work with them. They're based out of China. So like having to get that stuff over here had a lot of hurdles to get through. So, that was backlogged many months. Raspberry Pis are the biggest deal for me. I don't know if you've seen any news on that. All of our machines run Linux with our proprietary software inside of it, but it's running on a Raspberry Pi inside. So like over the last month, I haven't been able to find any until like super recently, and the ones that I could find are marked up 200-400%. It's been skimming by and defining what our goals are for the quarter.
I always say it's the best part of being the head of engineering, and having to manage all of this.
There's many unrelated different aspects of my job, right? My team is great because I can basically just say like, hey Seth, I need you to model up this part or adjust it a certain way. And I walk away. I know it's going to get done. Or if somebody comes to me and says, hey, my machine's doing this, but I'm in the middle of a meeting, right? Then I can go to my maintenance guy, Jared, and say, hey, this person told me that this machine is having this problem. I recommend this. Let me know what you find. And then he'll go and come back and be like, no, you were wrong. It was this, and here's why. And I can tell my team what I need done, and they'll handle it. And so as a group, we can accomplish big things.
And I don't know, can you share something? I mean, do you have any plans on expanding anytime soon, or any news that you can share with us?
Yeah, we actually were planning on being the best for a very long time. Our main focus is going to be making sure that all of the cards coming out here look great, look authentic. But hopefully by caring about that stuff, the stuff that brings our customers in and what they like about us and what makes us stand out, we can expand. Like I said, we did 2 million orders last year. Hopefully we can expand that to in 5, 6, 7, 10 years. At some point we're 10, 15 million orders. So we're looking at as we start leasing around the country, we're looking at expanding that idea. We're also looking at opening up a second location here in the next couple of years.
One of the last questions, like from your perspective, I would like to hear, where do you think the future of the robotics industry is going?
I'm hoping by the time I retire that I'm just like pampered by robot. Like that's kind of my deal. I think things are moving up. So just like seeing the kinds of things that computer vision and this machine learning stuff can do. There's a lot of job openings in America, right? So hopefully we're able to start filling those so that you and I can just work on the big picture stuff and the stuff that's not remedial.
Last but not least, do you have any advice for future entrepreneurs or engineers or head of engineers starting on this path?
I don't want to use the word cliche, but it might sound something like that. I love my job. I feel very put in the right place. If anybody who's watching this and looking for like, I don't know what to do next, if you can think about what you like and what you wouldn't mind doing for 40 hours a week, 40 plus hours a week, start down that. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like you can figure it out. Find the thing that you like and go for it. And if you don't find it the first time, try again.
I'm glad to hear your perspective. I can tell you how excited I was to have this interview with you and to have your perspective as head of engineering.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Michael, for being here, for sharing your experiences. Do you have any social media handles? Where can people find you? Where can people find the company?
Handwritten. We're starting a TikTok. I believe the handles, everything's just like at Handwritten. Go to handwritten.com, check out what we have. Reach out if you have any questions.
And remember, guys, that you can also find more information, interesting articles, interesting interviews, just like this one with Michael, directly on our website, controlhub.com/builder-nation. We would love to hear from you. And once again, Michael, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective, your advices, and everything regarding the company and your role. Thank you so much.